Hi viewers and welcome to the channel, and today we're looking at macros that affect your user interface. So we're looking at shortcuts for you to get you up and running with your favorite configuration for certain jobs. So I've started working from home a lot now, and I've bought my PC back from work, which is a much more powerful PC and it has a larger screen, which allows me to go back to something that I originally did during my 3D Studio Max and Lightwave days, and that is have windows on screen like this layout. So you've got the isometric view, the top view and the right view. And this can be done in FreeCAD quite easily, but the trouble is that each time you open a new project, you have to configure this window again, or if you open up FreeCAD. So if I close this down and open FreeCAD back up, you'll see that the minute it opens, then I have to go through this process each time. And I've just recently written a macro to solve this. It means that I can place it on a button and set up the windows as I see fit. So if I go into File, New, then I've got my new page or new document. Then I go to View, Create New View, and do that one again. So we've got 3 views there. Then we go into Window and Tile. So we've got our tiled views, and then I select this one as the isometric view. This one I keep top, and this one I normally keep to the right or left, depending what I'm modeling on at that time. Doing that each time is a bit of a pain, because if I went in and say if I opened up my last project, then I'm back to square one. I have to come up to View, Create New View, View, Create New View. So I've got 3 of them there. And then I have to go into Windows and Tile and make one isometric, one top, and one from one of the sides, such as the right view, like so. And then I can carry on with my preferred way of modeling. What I've learnt with macros is that although you can affect your object and do funky things with your objects and time consuming things with your objects, you can also do that with your interface. Some of the stuff that you can do in the interface, you normally open up the Python console and throw commands to the Python console by moving objects, selecting buttons to toggle stuff on and off. But some of it is hidden and you can't actually get to that. And this is what this video is about. I'm going to show you actually how I create this layout by using a simple macro. And also I'll show you some of the other stuff that I'll get into. Stuff that I do often is import SVGs and then convert those to models. We'll use those as parts in my models. And that involves a lot of B-splines. And you'll see the cones of the B-splines, and it takes time to turn those off and on because you have to turn off, I think it's about 4 different options in there. This video will show you how you can customize your FreeCAD and place it in a macro. So the minute you open up something, you can just press a button or run the macro and your scene is already up and running in your preferred layout and preferred state. And that will be coming up next. If you like this video, please hit a like and also subscribe to the channel. I also have a Ko-Fi site where you can actually donate to my contributions to the community, and that's at ko-fi.com/MANG0. So let's have a look at creating this macro. I'm going to close everything first, so I'm going to close all that. I don't want to save anything. I want a few panels up. I want the panels, Python console, and the panels report view, just in case any errors appear. So I'm going to just make that one quite small on the left hand side. Now we'll start this from a new document. To do the layout, you'll need a document to actually do the tiling, etc. So first things is we're going to clear this Python console. So everything in there gets cleared and we start from fresh. I'm going to divide this into a number of views, and this will appear in the Python console. So this command will be available. So create new view, you'll see it comes up here. Create new view. So that's the first view we have. And I'm going to create another one. So I'm just going to paste that in there, and you can see that's created the second view. So I'm going to create a new document. We want to run that macro, and it creates these two new views. So I'm going to take these now and put those straight into my macro, which I haven't created yet. So macros, and I'm going to call this screen layout. So we know that we need these two commands straight off. Then we create a new document. We use these two commands. We even could put the actual command to create the document in here. So we can put this on our start menu and create a document for, say, large monitor, or in this case, if I wanted to create a document for the demos that I do only keep to one screen, then I'll just use the basic create document out there. But if I was working on my larger machine with a larger monitor, then I'll have another icon up here. So let's do that. Let's have a look, see where that create document was, and I got rid of it. Nice. So let's just create another document there. So here we go. So app, new document unnamed, and it does those commands as well. So let's put those in there. Let's just get rid of that unnamed document because we don't need it anymore. And get rid of all these because we don't need those either. So create a new document, make it active, and then we create two more views. Now the thing with these views is that we want to change the orientation and also the tiling of the windows. And this is where it gets a bit tricky. Be aware that we've got our screen layout macro open, so what you'll see is that will get tiled as well, but the effect we will get afterwards is that each of those tiles will take up the right amount of space, as we saw before in the demonstration. So if I come into here, go to Windows and Tile, then I'll get the command, GUI run command, standard tile windows, std tile windows, which is a command that's in FreeCAD that's running on there. So I'm happy with that. You can see this one's been tiled as well. Obviously, if that one wasn't there, then one of these will take up its space. We need that command in there. Now this is where things get a bit tricky, because if I wanted to change this one's view to isometric view, well, the command's there, but look what it's saying. It's saying active view, view isometric. So if I change this one down here to top, which is already top, it's coming out active view as well. And that's because I've changed the focus of these windows. And there's no command that I've come across yet that you can target those views that can be placed in the Python console. But the way to do it is to step through the main window and find the Qt graphic windows. And that will pull back a list of those graphic windows. And the trick is to make those available and to focus one of them. To do this, we need to actually access the GUI. So we need to access the GUI and we need to get the main window. And that will pull back the main window of the GUI. If we sign that up, so I'm going to use mw equals get GUI.get main window, then we can see the properties that are on there, the properties and methods that are on there. Everything in the main window is a child of the main window. So we can use .find children, and that will pull back the toolbars, the windows, the tabs, etc. of our GUI. Now we're only specifically interested in these windows here. And these are called Q graphic views. So mw.findChildren, Now this is part of the Qt GUI, and the Qt GUI is part of FreeCAD, and it's the platform that FreeCAD is written upon. So the Qt GUI is all these icons and these windows. It's a framework, it's a Qt framework that FreeCAD's been built upon. And we need a dot in there and to pull back the graphics view. And that's a Q graphics view. Now if I hit enter, that will complain that it cannot find the attribute find children in there. I was expecting it wasn't going to find the attribute Q graphics view there. And that's just because of casing. So we come in here and change that case to capital C. And you can see it's saying Qt GUI is not defined. And that's because we need to import it in. So we need to import that in as a library. So like other macros, when you import the Qt GUI, you have to do that in the Python console as well. So from PySide, and we use import Qt GUI, and that will import the library that we need. So now if I type in Qt GUI and hit a dot, you can see we've got all the Q graphics and Q widget stuff that's come available now. And I'm after Q graphics view, which is this one. And that's what I'll be using to bring them in. So I need the window.findChildren bracket and Q graphics view, same as before. And you'll see that will come back with a list. And if you count the items in the list that are separated by a comma, you'll notice they will equate to the amount of windows that we have here. So we've got 1, 2, and 3. So we've got 1, 2, 3 windows here. This one here is not a Q graphics view, and that's the reason why it hasn't come back. So this is perfect. This is a list of windows that we got here. Now if I assign that to a variable, and I'm going to call them win equals mw.findChildren Qt GUI.Q graphics view. Then when I type win, I'll get those, and I can identify just one window. So win 0 will be the first one in the list, and there's a number of things that will be attached to that. So I go win 0, you can see that's there. So I can place that into my macro, because what I will do is type, when I get to win 0, I'll do a set focus on there and pull that in. And we'll do that in a minute. But first, let's get some of this into our macro. So let's have a look, see what we got. So we need to import the library. Do that first of all. And we also need to get the main window. And there it is. And that's our find children as well, so we need that. So let's place that in there. Don't need the chevrons. And watch out for spare spaces, because spaces matter in Python. So this one here we want to assign up, as we did before, to win equals mywindow.findChildren Qt GUI Q graphics view. So that brings back all the Q graphic views. Now if I come down here to where I was before, we've got win 0 here. So at the moment, if I did win 0 and then a dot, I'm not going to get any IntelliSense, anything that's going to tell me what the commands are. So I'm going to assign win 0 to a variable. And I'll call this variable something like w1 equals. So if I type in w1 now, dot, I'll get everything that I need, all the methods there. And there is a method on here called set focus, I believe. There it goes, set focus. open close bracket, and then you watch the screen when I hit enter, and you can see that window 0, which is this one here, has been focused. And I can do the same with the others. So I'm going to set window 1 to win 1 and w1 dot set focus, open close bracket, and you can see that unnamed 3 has appeared. And this is exactly what we want, because then we can then run the command to do something like an isometric view on that window. So for this one, it will probably be side view or the top view. So over here we've got my window, which is the collection of windows there. So I'm going to call this window collection. And then we go through each of them. So our first one will be 0. So win collection. You can change this order. 0 dot set focus. So now we have focused that window, and our first one, we want the isometric view. So come in here, well, we've got that command down here. GUI.ActiveDocument.ActiveView is view isometric. Take that, place it in here, and then we want this command again, but do the same for window 1. So we're setting the focus to window 1, and window 1, we just use this window for the time being, so we can see what we're doing. That's going to be the top view, so view top. There we go. Take that one, copy it, and paste it in there. And then last but not least is the last window, which is window 2. Remember, this is 0 based indexing here, so we start from 0, 1, 2 for the 3 windows. So the last window, set focus on that, and just going to use this one again, and I want that one as a set to the right view, and then just copy that command and place it in the macro. So just switch to a full screen view of the code so we can go through it, and you've got a chance to copy down that macro if you so need it. So the first thing we do, from Pi side, import Qt GUI, and then we create a new document, app.newDocument unnamed. We make that the active document active view. We make that view the default orientation. So give it a default orientation. That's all done in the command that when we create a new document, it's placed into our Python console. We just copy that from there. We then run the standard view create twice. And that, remember, is when you got to view and create view. So this one here, which is grayed out obviously because I'm in macro. Then we have to get the main window. So we assign up a variable called MW, and that is GUI.getMainWindow. And then from that we create a collection, which is assigned to the variable win collection. And that is my window, and we find all the children in there, and because I've copied that, we've got the casing problem again, so let's uppercase C in there. So my window.find children, and we're finding all the graphic views, so that will get each of those graphic views that open. And we created a new view through these are graphic views, and they will be picked up. Now from the first one in our collection, we set the focus, and we set that to the isometric. The second one in our collection, we set the focus again, and then set that one to view top, and then the last one, we set it to view right after setting its focus. So we're going through all those as if we were clicking on them and then going up to the views at the top here and setting the focus from those. So I'm going to save that, and when I run that macro, what will happen is that we've got all of our views, and because we had the macro open, it will sit in the right hand side here. If I close that, go file, close all, go macros, recent macro, screen layout. There you are. There they all are there, all ready to go. This one has gone right and this one's top. I can swap these about just by coming in and changing that macro. So if I go to macros and edit that screen layout macro, there it is. And I can check these and find out which one. So the right one, this one here, view right, I want that as isometric. So I'm going to cut that, and collection 2, that one as isometric, and that one as right. So we may have to change those a bit depending on what way round we want the views. It's quite simple to do. And now if I go File, Close All, just save this off, and macros, execute macro, we've now got isometric at the top there. Let's close out, File, Close All, macros, recent macro, screen layout, and there we go. There they all are there. We can add this to a button now. So if we go into our tools, customize, and go into our toolbars, we're on the start one, which is ideal. This is where I want to run this from. So I'm going to put a new toolbar in there and call this layouts. So this is be a new toolbar that will be created, and I'm going to add a option 2 there, so that it probably will appear just about here or even here. I'm not quite sure where this will appear. We're going to macros, and let's find our macro. So I can assign the macro to the button, and we'll go for screen layout there, menu text, screen layout. I'm just going to fill these all with screen layout. You can change these whatever you want. And the pix map will be the icon. And let's have a look for a decent icon in here. This one here. Hit add. So that screen layout's there. If we jump over to the toolbars now, so we got layouts toolbar. And if we drop this down to macro, that's not the right one. I got an idea. It's macros. There, macros. You got the screen layout there. So click on that. Press the move right. Now it will sit there. If I go close, you'll see that's been added there. There it's sitting there. So now what we can do is File, Close All, and whenever we want to use that, just click on it, and there's a new document with the views all ready to go. So remember, we can add more to this as well. So if we go up to View, and I often use the toggle axis cross, make sure that is on so our axis cross appears there. And if I go to the Python console, then we've got GUI, active document, active view, set axis cross. It's true, so copy that. And I'm just going to go into my macros and edit that macro and come in here and just add that as an additional line there. Now if you look at it, it's saying about active view there as well. GUI active document dot active view set axis cross. So I only want this. I could have it on all of them, but I'm going to place it only on my view isometric, so that is actually in the right place there. If I wanted on any of the others, I can actually come in here and set them in here. So I just copy this line and paste them in here, but I don't want that, so I'm going to take that out. Let's hit save on that. I'm going to get rid of this Python console, get rid of this, File, Close All, and then that's let our screen layout there. And then we've got the axis cross and the other two there. So one thing to remember is that this has got the creation of a new active document in there. So that's an issue if you're opening a file. So we go to a macro, macros, and the screen layout, and edit that. We've got this app.new document unnamed GUI.active document active view, etc. We can resolve that. Let's close all. So what we can do is do a check in here to see if the active document is currently active, if there's one in memory. If there's not, then we create one. If there is, then we'll just open this as is. So to do that, we use this GUI.active document. Let's see what this brings back. So view, panels, Python console, and let's place that in there. So that's pulling back nothing. So if I do if GUI.active document equals and then none and colon and print and brackets y, we should get a y back. So if I hit enter, we're getting a y here. So that looks like that's working. So let's do the same check but with a document. So new document and try that check. Now what's happening here? Let's go back a few. There we go. Hit enter. So we've got nothing coming back. So that is working because it's an active document now. So I'll close that down and just run that command again. And we've got a Y back. So that command there, just that bit with a colon, we can come in here and say if GUI.active document equals none, and then we do this, and then this will drop down into here. So this will bypass if it doesn't equal none, drop down to here and carry on down here. But we still want to do this even if it is no active document in memory. So that should do it. So let's Control S that. Let's save that off, close, and what we can do is close that macro as well. Everything's clear on screen. So clicking our macro introduces these three windows with the correct views, isometric top and right. Close all, and let's open something. So recent, open that one. There we go, that's open. And we're going to click on our button, and there we go. We've got those in those views. So that's working nicely, and I hope that's helpful, and I'll see you again soon. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe to my site, and also I have a Ko-Fi site where you can actually donate a few pence or a few pounds, dollars, or whatever your currency is, and that's at ko-fi.com/mang0, and there you'll be able to help me fund my site, and all the money that I actually get from any funds will actually get pushed back into the channel. Thanks a lot for watching and subscribing. I'll see you next time.